Rosa is here. Amy, is Amy here? Okay, Amy is not here. Enrique is here. Manuel,
Yep.
are you here, Manuel? Not here, okay. And Diana Vega. Are you here, Diana? Okay, no problem. So, as you're watching my screen, this is the question that I want you to answer. Please take 2 minutes. I need you to give me one reason and tell me also how are you supporting that reason. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes and call you guys one by one, okay?
Okay, teacher.
Okay, starting from now.
Okay.
Alright, so let's start by listening to you guys. Enrique, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Alright, tell me please. Should cigarettes be banned?
Okay. Okay, I think that cigarettes shouldn't be banned because people should decide what they want to do with their life first.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, I know that, for example, in my case, I don't smoke because I see that this is not good for your health. So the idea I prefer is that people have access to good education
Mm-hmm.
in order to make them to decide what is good or what is bad. Because as you can find cigarettes, you can find drugs, you can find almost also bad habits. You can find a lot of things, but the point is not to get banned. The point is to make people understand what is bad and what is good for their lives.
Alright, that was very clear. Thank you for that. Now let's go with Rosa, please. Rosa, can you please continue?
Teacher, you can give me a minute, please. I have one problem out in my house, please.
Okay, don't worry about that.
1 minute, no more.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
So, Daniel, can you please tell us what you think? Okay, it seems like Dana doesn't have enabled the microphone. So, Jessica, what is your opinion?
Okay, teacher. And from my point of view, I agree with that because the cigarettes is very, very bad for our health because they cause a lot of diseases in the people. But the people don't understand this and smoke a lot. It's very bad, teacher. I agree with that.
Okay, that was good also. Thank you for that. Now,
Thanks.
all of you guys that has not responded to this question, Would you like to add something more to that? This is the time where you can add something to that.
Well, I understood that you said that we haven't answered the question.
Yes.
Ah,
Your name's Manuel, right?
Enrique.
Enrique. Okay, Enrique. Yeah. So you already gave the question. That's fine. And also, so guys, uh, here we're not intending to get right or wrong answers. We just want to know your opinion. So don't take it so seriously. This is not a promotion of for you to stop smoking if you smoke. So yeah, that's a disclaimer. Let's continue. So considerations. This is the agenda that we're gonna have today. So
Teacher,
yeah.
sorry, I'm here.
Oh, you're here. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Don't worry about that. So
Yes,
could you please
I
tell me
live.
what do you think?
Okay, okay, teacher. I live now in the U.S. I think, um, mm, or I have many investigations. Um, every year in the U.S., more than 18,000 people die in the U.S. For consume or tobacco or cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
This bad habit related disease that in around 1 in 5 people or person of all deaths in this country annually. It's estimated that 1 in 2 smokers will die from a smoking related disease.
Mm-hmm.
Smoking causes more deaths in the US each year than the following combination. For example, alcohol use, firearm related incidents, HIV, illegal drug use, and motor vehicles incidents. This is my investigation. No more for now, teacher.
Okay, that's very clear. So, you mentioned very negative aspects such as diseases, death, health concerns, but is this a big enough reason to ban cigarettes from society? Rosa, Ro-
Check for Ross.
Yes, yes. I think smoking shortens the
Mhm.
life of the male by about 12 years
Uh-huh.
and the life of a female by around 11 years. Um, Two poisons in tobacco that affect people's hair here.
Okay.
Um, for example, carbon monoxide and tar. Carbon monoxide is found in car exhaust fumes and is fatal in large doses. It replaces oxygen in the blood and starves organs of oxygen,
Mm.
stops them being able to function properly. And tar is a sticky brown substance that coats that lungs and affects breathing. I don't remember more, teacher. I'm sorry.
Don't worry about that. So, Enrique, you said you wanted to continue with that. Is that a big enough reason to ban cigarettes from society? What do you think about that, Enrique?
No, no, no. Actually, I wanted to know what is the opinion of my mates because first here you said that it's bad, but it's not clear for me that is if they think should be banned or not. For example, in my case, I said that is should be banned. So in this case, that Rosa just said that yes, should be
Mm-hmm.
banned. So it's different the point. That's the idea, no?
Mm-hmm.
To talk about that. But in the case of the, I don't remember the name of. I think it's Jessica was the first.
Jessica,
The other
yeah.
person. Okay, it's not clear for me if she agrees or not.
Okay, very good question. So Jessica, could you please help us deciding if you are um, on the ban or if you don't agree with that?
Uh, I agree, teacher. The
Okay.
cigarettes I consider could be banned from society because it's very, very bad for our health.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but the people don't understand and they smoke a lot. Also, the people smoke. Mm, I hear 12, 12 cigarettes per day is much for me.
Oh, okay. That's very interesting. All right. So all of our preliminary opinions are clear. Now let's continue. And the idea is to get a better understanding and see if you guys will change your idea or if you're gonna keep it. So for this, we're gonna see one real case. Then we're gonna see what is the difference between banning or regulation. That is something that Enrique was telling us about. Also, we're gonna see addressing the policy and the government. So what is the role of the government? We're also gonna see public safety. That is the harms and benefits of tobacco. Smoking, and especially smoking tobacco, it doesn't have just harms. It also has benefits, and we're gonna see something about that. The social response. So, how will society respond in the case of a banning or a very strict prohibition? And finally, public consumption. So, what will be the deal with the market? Would it stop it, or will people smuggle it like we do right now with cocaine and other drugs? So, the country that has already banned tobacco in general is Bhutan. Bhutan is the only country in the world to have ever banned tobacco. It's a small country located in the Southeast Asia. It proclaims to be a democracy where religion shapes laws in the Vajrayana Buddhism. So, the case of this country, they ban tobacco because it doesn't correlate with their religion. So, that's a very specific reason for them. They also said that there were health concerns and the death rate was really high, so they had to prohibit tobacco altogether. This is one real case, and at this point in time, it's the only country in the world that has tried that. We also have some cases, like in the United States and Europe, where tobacco was prohibited, but it only lasted for around 2 weeks or 1 month. Alright, so again, I'm gonna ask you for your participation and tell me, what do you think happened in Bhutan, the country that banned tobacco? These are the questions. Did consumption increase? What happened to the prices of cigarettes? Did public health increase? And also, name another aspect you consider relevant. Again, I'm gonna give you 2 minutes to think about this, and I'm gonna be back with you guys.
Okay, teacher.
All right. All right, so the 2 minutes have passed. Reminder, guys. So, if you're gonna talk about the answers, remember to support your ideas. This doesn't mean that you have to go over the internet and give it the answers. I just need your personal opinion. So, Jessica, would you mind to give me the answers?
Okay, teacher.
Thank you.
Okay. I think what happened in Bhutan because the government saw the what happened about the health, about the condition of health. For me, I think so, teacher. I'm not sure.
Okay, don't worry about that. Let's go for every of each of these questions. So, what do you think happened to consumption? Did people smoke much of what they used to do, or the ban worked and everyone stopped smoking? What happened? What do you think happened here? Did consumption increase or not? Jessica?
Sorry, teacher. The three, the public health increase.
Okay, the public health increase. This was an increment. All right. So, what happened to the prices of cigarettes? What do you think happened? Did they increase?
The conditional health. For smoke a lot. Could be.
All right, could be. And name, please, another aspect you consider relevant. All right.
Okay, teacher. The first, the consumption increase. Could be the people smoke a lot every day.
Oh.
Maybe.
So it increased. It increased. Oh,
yes.
That's very interesting. Increased. Let me write it. Increased. Thank you, Jessica. Now let's go.
Thank you.
Enrique. So let's go with every one of these questions one by one. So what do you think happened with consumption? Did it increase or not?
Okay. Well, my opinion probably it increased because, as happens with other drugs, when they are banned, so it starts like fashionable. People think, or in young people, they think that is a good idea to use it. Or other people that, for example, what happened with alcohol in United States like 100 years ago, that they tried to ban, so they still use alcohol. So I guess that the people will talk about that, but there is not like public health related with education or to make people know what is bad about cigarettes or smoking. So people don't know that, they only know that it's banned. So I guess it probably increased. What happened to the prices? Of course, for me is clear that increased because if it is regulated, also the prices could be regulated. And if you have to access to these drugs, you have to pay because they have to hide from society. So I guess it's increased too. About the public health increase, of course not, because if people have they know that they have a problem with the consumption, so they can access to public health and ask for help about that. So, and the other aspect to consider is what happened now with the drugs. For example, in Colombia, with the use of marijuana, the use of cocaine, or all that that is right now is banned. So this is a problem, and this is an issue that um, has been dis- discussed for many years,
Mm-hmm.
and nothing happens with that. So the only problem is that people used to be very conservative about about that problem, and the only people that have gain or have get no the only people that get how to say that they get how to say that the only, that make benefits
Mm-hmm.
is the people that traffic with drugs.
Oh, the black
So
market.
yes, so and the rest is how to say that, followed by the police or something like that. I don't know how to say that.
Mm.
And so it's the same with drugs. So the idea is, if that happens with cigarettes, it will happen the same as happens with drugs.
Okay, that was very good. So, Enrique mentioned something really important, and is that it has the banning has a counterproductive response. So, if government thinks they're gonna solve all these issues, it's probably that it's gonna be not like that, and it's gonna be the contrary of that. All right. So, Rosa, could you please help me answering these questions? Rosa, are you here?
Hey, teacher, I'm sorry. Yes, I think the government of Bhutan talked about the improve the health of the your citizens, and I think the black market increase. It's okay. Black
Yeah,
market,
black market.
okay, but mm, it's possible that people think about what happens after you quit smoking, because um, the cigarette smoking is one of the leading causes of preventable death in the Bhutan,
Yeah.
but quitting can be doubting, and the health of the people improve. Um, Maybe quitting smoking means breaking the cycle of addiction and essentially rewinding the brain to stop craving nicotine, and the disease in maybe cancer and mm, I am sorry, no remember.
Don't worry. Okay, so you answered most of the questions, but also please tell me what do you think happened to the prices of the cigarettes? Were they more expensive or are they still the same?
No, it's in Colombia. Is I don't know. I don't never buy bought a cigarette, but here in the U.S. it's expensive in this state in Georgia. Um, mm, a little people not um, consume cigarettes. Maybe it's $15.
Okay, but I was talking about Bhutan. So imagine,
Ah, Bhutan. Oh, all right. It's expensive.
so they were more expensive after the ban, right? After the prohibition.
Yes, it's what's expensive?
Okay, so more expensive.
Yes.
Okay, you all guys did very very well. Is there anyone who wants to follow up on this topic, or should we continue? Let me know if you guys want to tell me something.
Yes, to keep talking about this.
All right. So you want to add something, or we're gonna continue?
I'll continue.
Okay. So this is the reality. That was just a premonition to see what happened, but this is the reality. So consumption increased. And why did it increase? Because when it's very hard to find tobacco or cigarettes, well, that's gonna create scarcity. And when that's hard to find, it happens the same with diamonds. They are hard to find, so prices increase. Prices skyrocketed. Public health remained the same because the ban did not help improve the health, so people kept smoking. And more than 80% of people were arbitrarily sent to jail. So let me explain you this last one. In Bhutan, what happened is that if police found anyone with cigarettes, they were sent to jail. And since the ban, this happened in around 1970s, 80% of people were arbitrarily sent to jail. So some of you are really close to the reality of the ban. In general, we can say that it created a pendulum effect. So we received what we were not expecting. Now let's talk about banning versus regulation. So banning will be this one. Regulation, it doesn't exist a symbol for that, but we're gonna say it's this one. And these stripes are the attempts of the government at controlling what? The prices, the age, and the markets. Who can sell me cigarettes? Whereas banning is total control. That means nobody can smoke, nobody can sell or consume. Nobody. The idea here is that cigarettes should disappear. So, after hearing this, I want you guys to know about your opinion, and please tell me if banning is better than regulation or regulation is better than banning. So let's start with Rosa. Rosa, could you please tell me what is better, banning or regulation, and why?
It's better. It's better because not is imposition in the people. This regulation is better
Why?
for me. Because the government of Bhutan the is not altogether prohibited in Bhutan. Is largely banned in places of public accommodation, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
or the tobacco control of the police, or maybe not is bad option,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe in commercial centers, including markets, hotel clubs, restaurants, and bars, um, recreation centers, cinemas, is controlled by authorities.
All right. So banning is better for you.
Yes, yes.
Excellent. Now, Enrique, can you please tell me which one is better for you?
First, according to my opinion, I think that is regulation is always better. But also, according to the results, what according to what happened in Bhutan,
Yeah.
it is obvious that banning was a very bad idea
Mm-hmm.
because first it increased the consumption, increase the prices. People that don't need to go to jail only because they are smoking. It's not what they have to be punished. Even they don't have to be punished. They have to be, as I said at the beginning, they only need to be educated about the use of drugs, for example, in this case. So regulation is the way.
Excellent. Let me just write something you said. So there should be no punishment. Punishment. We're gonna continue on that topic in just a little bit. So, Jessica, what do you think? Banning or regulation?
Okay, teacher, I agree with Rosa
Mm-hmm.
with the banning because for me banning is better than regulation because the regulation it allows smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, banning not. I consider the government of the country see the consequence of the smoke. Yes, I consider that. For that reason, I consider is better the banning, teacher.
Okay. And what do you think about the punishment? If the government, let's say any government, let's forget about Bhutan. If we ban cigarettes, should we punish people that smoke? Jessica?
The Bhutan.
In any case, in whatever you want to think.
Could you repeat, please?
All right. So you're in pro of the ban, right? You
Okay.
are pro banning. This means that if the police find someone smoking, they will be able to punish him. That is, send him to jail. Do you think people should be sent to jail if they smoke?
Mm,
I mean, jail.
esa-
They go to jail.
Jail with the minute.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that.
What's the minute jail?
Ah, cárcel. Que van a la cárcel.
Okay. Mm, I I consider it is not necessary.
Not necessarily.
I think the government should be think in another things. I don't know, but the jail not.
Okay. What about you, Rosa? Should people be sent to jail if they smoke under a banning?
I think it's better apply penalties.
Penalties. Oh, that's
Yes.
really interesting.
Because also regarded with possession of less than maybe 2 or 3 or 4 times
Mm-hmm.
the limit defined as a pretty, mm, this is the minor possession of over
Mhm.
3 or 4,
Okay,
if depending the case,
depending on the case.
yes, of the country.
All right, that is very clear. So we're gonna talk about that in the name of strikes. That will be very similar to driving. If you do some faulty regulations while driving, they're gonna strike you either one time, two times, three times, and if the three time arrives, they're gonna take your license. That is kind of similar. Enrique, I would like to ask you, what do you think about those strikes or the attempts that Rosa just mentioned?
The penalties.
The penalties, yeah.
Um, I don't know. I think that, for example, an example here in Colombia is that people can smoke. They are allowed to smoke, but they cannot smoke in public places,
Mhm.
like in bars or restaurants or indoors. So this is like a penalty for them. It's not that you have to pay something because you are a consumer,
Mhm.
but they it is regulated as in Colombia. So people understand that they can do that in certain places.
Mhm.
So this is the only penalty that I consider they they can receive.
Oh, okay, so let's call that locations. Excellent. You guys are doing very well. Now let's talk about addressing the policy and the government. This means, does the ban represent a violation of rights? That means, do I have the freedom to do what I want, or should the government impose whatever they want me? Let's say, if I want to drink this, should the government tell me what to drink, what to smoke, and what not to, whatever? And this one, what would you do if more than 90% of people is dying because of smoke related diseases? So before, you were able to see that we were talking about this in very general terms. There was not a very specific situation. Let's say people were not dying in those cases. So here I want you to think about, what would you do if more than 90% is dying? And also think about this one, the first one, the violation of rights. So should the government be controlling as much as I just mentioned, or not? Okay, so for this I would like to start with Enrique. Enrique, could you please help
Okay.
me with this?
Okay, I agree with that this is a violation of rights, of
Mm-hmm.
course, because you can do whatever you want unless you are how to say that it it could be a danger for another person, but if not, you can do whatever you want. This is like the first point for me.
Mm-hmm.
And in relation with the second, that you can say, okay, but if people is dying because of that, so you have to ban. This is like the could sound like a normal uh, answer for that,
Mm-hmm.
but as I mentioned, I mentioned before, what happened. What happens is that people don't know what happened when they smoke. So in this case, it is the same when, for example, scientists realize that only if you wash your hands, you can avoid many diseases. So people start washing their hands more frequently.
Mhm.
In this case, it would be the same. For example, in Colombia, you can find in the cigarette boxes the diseases. So this is information. It's good information for example, for the kids. So
Mhm.
the kids see that in the boxes, they see very, very hard pictures of people that have cancer, babe, the babies. It's not babies, but the fetus. I don't know. I don't know how to say that. Fetus.
Fetus. Yes.
Fetus. Yes, dying or diseases in their mouth. So this is education. So,
Mhm.
they just know have to know what happens if they smoke. And if people is dying and they don't know that it's cigarettes, it's because government
Mm.
is not giving them the opportunity for educate and change their habits.
Mm. So you're saying in that case of 90% of people dying, it will be better to regulate it under education, right?
Yes, yes, of course.
Education. Okay. Now, Jessica,
Okay,
what do
teacher.
you think? Does the ban represent a violation of rights?
Okay, for me, I don't think so, because it is a good cause, yes,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
for avoid more dice, deaths, muertes,
Deaths.
deaths.
Mm-hmm.
For that reason, I think so.
Excellent. So, and what are you thinking about in this case? If people, more than 90% of people is dying, what would you do?
Okay, teacher. I think the better for me, I think so campaigns
Mm-hmm.
to our people.
Yeah.
Yes, for that reason, in order to, sorry, to people understand the consequence of the smoke
Yeah.
is for me the better.
Oh, okay. The consequence should be an enough cause to start the ban. That's
Yes.
very good. And Rosa, what do you think about the violation of rights?
I think I don't know, teacher. Possible for the government, um, the control advocates must reach out to the other communities and
Mm.
resources um, to strengthen the efforts and create change in the people. Um, for example, uh, in radio, TV, uh, in the universities,
Mm-hmm.
schools, um, mm, made no campaigns
Campaign?
campaign um, and made comprehensive tobacco control program.
Mm.
In these parts, it's a good option for the government.
Yeah.
I
So that is very
maybe
similar to education.
yes, yes,
Oh,
and uh, I
okay.
don't know.
Don't worry about that.
I'm sorry.
No, it was well said. All right. So, any of you would like to follow up on this, or should we continue?
continue, I guess.
All right. So, public safety, the harms and benefits of tobacco. So, when smoking, and this is similar with other drugs, there are some harms, but there are also some benefits. Harms, we sure all know about this. Cancer of the nose, lip, tongue, and mouth. Increased risk of stroke and brain damage. Hearing loss. Now, what are the benefits? Lowering risk of Parkinson's disease. Smoking lowers the risk of obesity, and it may reduce the risk of panic attacks. So, these all three are related with anxiety. So, anxiety related diseases, it's contributing for those not to appear. Okay, now let's imagine if we have a ban on tobacco, what will be the social response and what will be the impact? So, what are some of the social impacts a ban on cigarettes will create? For example, riots. People will be very mad and they will riot the government. Try to think about a scenario where people will respond, or other instances, what will happen in general with society. So, Enrique, please tell me what would you think it will happen with the society.
Um, before I answer this, eh, I have a question about the previous slide.
Uh-huh.
Is it real? Is it true that smoking can lower the risk of Parkinson, smoking lower obesity and panic? Is it real?
Yeah, right after at the end, I have the references. And this is a study that was conducted in 2019, and they were all related to anxiety. So, people who regularly smoke had lower levels of anxiety. And as you know, anxiety is the leading cause of Parkinson's disease. So that's why it's a
It
benefit.
sounds funny because those results can create confuse because probably those benefits are for people that are already smoking, are
Mhm.
already smokers, but it's not, those benefits are not for people that are no smokers. So this is like publicity for cigarettes.
Mm.
Sounds like that because it's general. It's not general. It means like, for example, if you have um, weight, how to say that? Have you have weight, a lot of weight. How to
Mhm.
say that? You have obesity, for
Yeah.
example. It could sounds like you have to smoke in order to avoid
Mhm.
obesity.
Yeah, that's right. It
So
sounds like that.
it's yeah. That was my first question, but now I realize that it's like scientific results
Mhm.
should be shown in a very clear way because it could create a confusion.
That's right.
And talking about the other question, the next slide.
Mhm.
Yeah, I guess that people that are really interested in smoking, they will react as the people as government is um, entering, no, is um, coming to their houses and choosing what they have to do. So of course the people that smoke won't will not like that. So on the other hand, as a government is decided, for example, about that, probably will decide about other things that will conserve of people,
Mhm.
other aspects apart from smoke. So it will talk very bad about a government that is very authority.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
people will react.
So it will be a bad reaction from the
Yes.
people. Bad reaction. Okay. Give me just 1 second. Okay, Jessica, can you please tell me what will be the reaction? Will people be happy? Will people be angry? What do you think?
For me, I think the people um, mm, could have a bad reaction,
Mhm.
bad emotions. Yes, for that reason, I consider the government must make aware to the people about this. Yes, for about this, I think.
Oh, okay. That's that's fine. Very well said. And Rosa, what do you think about this?
Um, I think the happy people is um, mm, a benefit of the not smoking tobacco or cigarettes
Mm-hmm.
um, because your health improve and mm, for example in your brain your face is uh, mm, you can have a better vision, your heart decrease heart risk, um, your blood is thin blood, is your cholesterol is lower, um, your stomach and hormones uh, can improve. For example, smaller belly, your estrogens is normal levels.
Yeah.
In case of the woman, in the case of the men, your erectile dysfunction is good or no, not is good, but the sexual healing is good and blood and the immune system in the case of the woman or the man is good um, because your normal white blood cell count
Mm-hmm.
and your muscles and bones, um, strong muscles and stronger bones is the benefit of the not smoking.
Yeah. So you mentioned something really important is that not smoking creates more benefits. Before I was talking with Enrique about the benefits, these are just some very little benefits. Not that smoking is it, it gives you way more benefits than smoking, of course. Okay, so public consumption. Uh, we just saw the cause that public consumption increase. Will the ban lead to a significant reduction in consumption? You guys, most of you said that no, and Enrique said yes because of the mafias. And this is just the final reflection. I would like to know, guys, if what you thought about the first slide about the ban has changed. So, if your thought was a ban will be good, in this reflection, do you still think is a good idea or a bad idea? So, Jessica, what is your final reflection? Do you think the same that you think previously or something changed?
Okay, teacher. For me, about on cigarettes,
Yeah.
uh, could be the better forever, because it sorry, we can see it reflects on the health the people. Yes,
Yeah.
because it carries a lot benefits.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, a good health in the people. In that way, I think would have a lot deaths, deaths, o sea, menos muertes habría.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I understand. All right. So less deaths. What about you, Enrique? What is your final reflection?
My final reflection is that thanks to that, um, that what happened in I don't remember the name
Bhutan?
of the country. Bhutan, yes.
Mm.
Thanks all what happened in Bhutan is that it it is very clear that good um there is no good co- consequences of ban
Mm.
any even as you show us there was no even 1 point good.
That's right.
Everything was very bad of the ban. So of course never should be banned.
Okay, so that is a policy contradiction.
Yes.
And finally, Rosa, please tell us your final reflection.
Okay, I think it's independent of the country, if it's Colombian or Bhutan or US. I think it's
Mhm.
the if you not smoking, you can reduce, or I can reduce my risk of diabetes, uh, and lower my cholesterol. I can improve my muscular strength, and I can add years for my life.
Mhm.
Um, I I don't remember no more.
No, that's fine. So that
Uh,
is that depends a lot on the context. This is what you're
yes.
saying. Okay, very good. Now, if someone is interested, these are the references I utilize for this presentation. Um, that will be it for today. Let me just go back to the Skype session. I appreciate everyone's participation. You guys have really good arguing competences. I hope you keep on doing that because you're doing very well. And that's it for today. Thank you for being here.
Thanks
Thank
to
you
your
too.
teacher.
All
Have a
right.
nice day.
Have a nice day, guys. Bye bye.